many things where the headline today, but all of them you fit sum under the gains and the gains or the merits and the demerits of the government or administration of President Muhammadu Buhari. All right, so one would touchlight, make we analyze some of the things them, because as at this morning, APC don't dissolve Presidential Campaign Council. That one means say work don't start, campaign don't finish. And even in the news, we hear say the president-elect Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu say himself go come inside the country today, and when he come inside the country, everything go enter full gear. Talk about the leadership of the National Assembly, talk about every other thing. That one me say the incumbent government now kwarapo then they. That one me say they are ungongo and njanja. They are getting ready to move out of the government arena or the government house. But before they move out, make we check some of the things them where the government, some of the things them, some of the areas, make we look some of the areas of this particular administration. Talk about security, talk about infrastructure, talk about health, talk about education. Make we talk about some of these areas, how well this government performed. This government don't use 8 years. Some people say yes, considering what they inherit, they no do badly at all. Them try, considering the wahala where they on ground, where they inherit. Some people say no, with the resources where they on ground, this government, people expect more from them. So many angles or many sides to this conversation. And all of them, we go make sense out of all of these angles this morning. We go put touchlight on top of the administration of President Muhammadu Buhari, make we see how well in don't do for some of these areas. Which area we try, which area we in not to do well like some other areas. Make we check them this morning. We get Asiwaju Oladimeji for on top of the phone line. He did join us from Ekiti State. Asiwaju Oladimeji a social commentator, a political analyst, and of course Sabi man when he be say they on ground based on the media and all of that. So you join us on top of the phone call. Make we talk about some of these things as it go. Asiwaju, good morning to you, dear. Hello.
Good morning, my brother.
You know, say when they say Asiwaju, the one where we know. Now they say they come back today. So when I say Asiwaju, good morning, make we know sure of the Asiwaju. You see, are you the president-elect, sir? Make we don't show.
Give me this one. I know be president. I know be president elect.
All
the
right.
President elect. Yes, he they come today.
They come
from
today.
when go rest.
All right.
So
all right.
my own name now she go.
All right. Asiwaju, that one na your name gong. So that one no be title now your own name gong. All right. So quickly.
Exactly.
Yes, quickly. Make we jump inside the conversation. All right, because just like you talk, the president-elect, he don't go rest according by how they talk, and then on the come by the report talks Intertown today, and then you check him, you get just about call 30 days or thereabout to take over from the incumbent government. And then you check the incumbent government, they tire some of the many finishing touches, they dot their I's, they cross their T's. People, they look and say, this government, then try. Some people say, this government, no, they could have done better. You know, so different feelings from different quarters. Now I may say, Asiwaju, join us. Make we put touchlight on top of how well, just as we prepare to transition into the next government, make we put eye on top of this particular government, areas where they try and areas where they don't do as much. Make we talk about them this morning. Now, quickly, make we start from here. Make we start from here because one of the headlines is there on top of Business Day this morning. Make we even start from there because this headline for Business Day is say Nigeria's borrowing from China triples to $4 billion under Buhari. Make we start from there. You feel say this borrowings, this whole money, $4 billion, and all of the other borrowings, we see the commensurate result, or we see the money for the infrastructure. We see the money, we see them as investment for the country. We see this money for inside of the country.
So this question, say for some times now, Nigerians, they always ask questions, and Nigerians will always ask questions. That all this money will be borrow. Where could you even share them for everybody? Say, just borrow, no use and do anything. Just give everybody. Everybody just take their own share. Okay, but let's take a look at where we are coming from. So if you look around the world, whether USA or whether not China or whether not UK or whether not Germany, everybody they borrow. So borrow will be the problem. Everybody they borrow. Everybody they borrow. As long as say citizens they ask for more, and your capacity, to get up. Okay, right. So you guys, you need to go out to look for that money. Okay, so no country for the world will know they borrow. Now the problem where me I feel say we get over time, and which is not really peculiar to this administration, we say all those countries that we normally see where they borrow, all those when you talk about the advanced economies, when you say advanced economies, we talk with countries like USA, UK, all those which the economy they could call our advanced economy. Our own, we they call our own developing economy. Say we just develop, we be small picking. Something don't they advance, that one don't pass developing. When you say developing, that means you see the crop,
you see the
like baby, you see they don't born. You did they come up, never reach advance. So the difference between when we say we'll be developing the economy, and not just Nigeria, when we say developing economies, we have so many examples, mostly in Africa.
Yes.
We say when we borrow, what will they take money do? What thing will they use the money do when we borrow? Now, there is difference between when you borrow for production and when you borrow for consumption. I think that there we always get this big. Now, if you borrow money, and let's say, okay, you want to do one big company, one start to produce something, you borrow money, say, okay, we are going to finance what you want to start producing, so that you start paying us back small. You get that kind of arrangement.
Yes.
So that as we borrow, say we're going to produce something, and waiting with they produce, we help us create jobs. You can see how it works, and as it creates jobs, you go make me money for the government. You go pay back the money, and we go return the money where we go borrow. You see the difference now. So the argument is that most of the time when we borrow, and I don't want to talk about this administration alone to some extent because this has been a trend over time, that when governments borrow, we always borrow for consumption. And if you borrow, let me say you consume, you know they produce anything. I go take pay the money back. Now why we see us say we run into biggest seriously. So borrowing, when people say borrowing, I always tell people, nobody, in fact, we never even borrow, say we never even borrow, say.
We know they borrow reach some people, Abi.
You don't even borrow rich some people. But those people who borrow, you go say as they borrow, they pump them. Let me give an example.
Yes.
This subsidy issue, for instance, so when government say that they subsidize what will they buy for PMS, so people they talk say, why not remove that subsidy and not give me? We say instead of me buying fuel for 400 naira, say make I not buy for 400 naira. Say make I buy the fuel for 190. Say they subsidize them. Come on the subsidy. Get people so that if you put up refinery for Nigeria, subsidize them. So that when you subsidize them, they go build refinery for Nigeria, they go pay you back one way or the other. But you know the implication. Look at that go take refinery and you go see how many jobs we go create, Abi. So imagine say government go borrow money now, can't subsidize so many companies like that, we go build refinery for Nigeria. So you cannot imagine how many jobs we they go create.
So
imagine how many refineries we go get.
So the borrowing, they translate to job creation, infrastructure, and eventually, the fuel subsidy eventually.
Exactly. So what I don't say. So if we borrow, and we they put this borrowing in this kind of setup, nobody go they make too much noise. That's my argument. But when we borrow, and in most cases, we dey spend them on top consumption. What we say, we know they produce anything to pay back. Let me give an example.
Yes.
Sometimes if you go to our budget, you go see say the money where we take service our debt. For instance, I think as a last year budget, we are spending about 6 trillion naira to service debt. To service debt, 6 trillion naira. Imagine what 6 trillion naira would have done in this our economy as it is so. 6 trillion naira. But we use that 6 trillion naira to service debt. So, but to say over time, because you see, when people talk about this thing, know they happen overnight. Yeah. That's why I'm being careful not to blame which government and which government. You see, now as you lay your bed, that's why you go sleep on top of. You get me back?
Yes.
The foundation don't rot.
No be today start.
No be today issue. So when we talk, I say, no be now all these things start to. We did this country, we say we borrow to pay salary in this same Nigeria. Where we go borrow to pay salary. So it means that when you go borrow and you don't put them for something productive, we say go create jobs, it don't make any sense. And I think that's what the next administration should they go. Yes. The next administration should look into how do we then turn our borrowing capacity to our strength. Instead of say, if you borrow 1 naira, this 1 naira where I go borrow, I go tie and down to something we go do productive. Maybe say it go bring 10 naira back. So I go pay this 1 naira back and we go see get SS for grant and we go see create job.
And that one me say this particular government no really they could have done better in that area. Make we just put them like that. In that area of Yes. So if you look, I know they speak for government. I know.
My own are to do analysis so Nigerians go understand.
Yes.
Now, if you look at some of their arguments, they talk say, if you look at their arguments,
yes,
which to some extent the thing makes sense to some extent, but you don't say, man, wait, they hungry, we don't get job. Nothing we if we expect that way go make sense.
You know one year analysis.
So the argument is that yes, they are borrowed, but they are saying that what you have borrowed, you can see it in terms of infrastructure. So they go talk about Second Niger Bridge, talk about Ibadan, Lagos-Ibadan Expressway, talk about is it Benue Lotto Bridge, talk about Benin, is it Bida? So they go talk say they say their own this I say they borrow, but what they borrow, you can see where they spend them. So it's not left for Nigerians to judge if truly what they have borrowed, if they have actually spent it in such a way that it will help ginger our economy.
Okay, now I like where you can't carry the discussion go. Make we pass that road where you go. Infrastructure, because that's another thing. We don't look the area of borrowing and how they dispense or how they use the money we then borrow. Now, but make we look at infrastructure. Under infrastructure, even the second Niger Bridge where they call, some people go tell you say, no be this government start them. But then other people go say, yes, no be them start them, but now them finish them. And the money they use finish them. Okay? But make we look infrastructure. Talk about second Niger Bridge, talk about roads, talk about the facilities where they make life better for inside of the country. How far this government take us from 2015 inside of these 2 tenures? You think say our infrastructural life, our infrastructural systems don't boost or don't improve? How you go see that one?
Okay, so when we talk about infrastructure,
yes,
infrastructure not be only road alone.
Yes,
you get. It also includes so many other things.
Like what and what?
So if you look at
what and what, make our people understand.
When you say infrastructure or basic amenities, you talk about what the government they do for electricity, what the government they do for road, what the government. So when you talk about infrastructure, we talk things you say will make life comfortable for Nigerians.
Okay.
So those things are there. So you will then say more on the compare. So it's a matter of, so let's say for instance, the second Niger Bridge is an example.
Yes.
Before this admission came on board, we know say that place it was still at the I dey look for grammar where I go take use. They say for that kind of big project, no be say now once it go take start. So many processes go dey, building process go dey, they will go decide, go check so many things, the design, the architectural design. Sometimes some of those processes will take 2 years. It depends on what you want to do, because it's not a small project.
Yes.
You know what we're talking about. So, but the good thing we say, when the decision come, you know, say before, we always get this briefing, we say, if you know you start something, when you come, you abandon them, you go continue. So you must also at least also say, okay, this government try, say, as they come, they see the need for that
to continue
infrastructure, okay? Yes. To continue and make life, because me, my own be say, I don't know when you do this road not only APC could use this road, not only PDP could use this road, not only Labour could use this road. Now Nigerians, and now their money, now their tax, now their money will say you dey comot for their one way or the other. So now they are right. So the idea say now somebody start now Nigeria start now Nigeria get them. No be one administration start now Nigerians
because
get something.
Taxpayers' money.
Now taxpayer money, Nigeria get their money now. Now Buhari carry the money come from Dara. Buhari carry the money come from Dara now. No be Jonathan carry the money come from Ochoke when they start the project now. But now Nigerians' money, so now Nigeria start. So this idea of somebody start, somebody abandon, what thing? That no concern Nigeria. So in terms of that project, we must say, yeah, they don't try. Okay, say now people they live for that axis. Now they're going to say, okay, once this thing kick off, it could make sense. That's one. They also try to spend money on some airport projects. If we take some airports, we say before, for example, Enugu Airport, for example, was not international airport. Okay. I need to confirm, but I know that they upgraded some airports so that instead of you're going to Abuja to fly to, let's say, UK, London, you can fly from, I think, from Enugu or I can't be sure, but I know that they try to also upgrade some airports.
Yes.
So that's to say, apart from roads, they try to put some money in some things so they make life meaningful for Nigerians. But the question be say, is it enough? One thing I know be say, because the kind of developing economy we use that time, nothing go there enough for now. See, we go need to do so many aggressive spending in our infrastructural facility. That is the truth. So if they don't do what they want to do, what if we say once you don't do or you don't they pack, they go. Me, they always they look for the best way they come. How do we then ensure that say we put this person on the store? Say as they come, we need so many things. So we need a whole lot to be done.
Yes.
Honestly speaking, we see how and they started something also, which I think it makes sense. If you look at Obajano, Obajano to Kaba Road, so they gave that road to that good. They call it tax heaven. So instead of you to pay tax to federal government, they go sit down, get agreement, say okay. Instead of you to pay tax to us, use this tax for 10 years. Use and do this road. You understand? Yes. So I think because you see, Nigerians also understand the fact that sometimes government must also devise other means of funding some of this infrastructure.
Creative ways.
Because if we talk say the borrowing is too much, and we don't want government to borrow too much. So what other means should government
fund?
So do you understand? So if it means that, for instance, if it means that this road where they bad for Ewekoro, and you get BUA where they produce cement for that area, why not follow BUA talk and say BUA don't worry, we don't collect tax from you for the next 10 years.
Just use that money. Road.
Take this road. Do you understand? Because it's not just in Nigeria without things they happen for everywhere. Meet all these multinational companies, all these geospatial oil producing companies. They have the fund, they get the money. So if they pay tax and Nigeria they see the tax, people they corner, people they chop up. But okay, don't pay this tax for now. Use this money, you do this, you do that. So that at the end of the day, Nigerians go see how they go enjoy and see the benefit.
Okay.
And another thing which I see they can also do, which I say Nigeria don't want to understand. I don't say people, if government say, okay, we do have the fund, and they come meet you for this, and say, okay, you get one big money, you get money like say you be that good day, and say, okay, come and use your money to do this road. After you do this road, we will give you 5 years or 6 years to get your money back. Nigerians don't understand that thing. And me, for me personally, my personal opinion is that if it means say you go come carry your money, do the road, and after 5 years, you go if I pass that road, you go collect 5 naira from me. But I go enjoy the road. You go still use that money to maintain that road. If not to pay 5 naira, so that I go enjoy road, I don't go stay 3, 5, 7 hours until it will take me 1 hour. Why not? So I think it's a matter of how government is sincere about all of this thing, openness and transparency. Nigerians don't go complain. So if all of this things being put in place, so we're not going to put too much pressure on the fund we know they. We're not going to say we'll go borrow again. So we go devise other means to say we will take fund some of this infrastructure.
All right. Make we talk about the issue of petroleum now, because many governments since 99, many governments go come during campaign, petrol subsidy will remove, will not remove, subsidy, no subsidy, all that kind of conversation done the ongoing. And even as we talk now, where the incoming government, they say they go remove the subsidy, and we hear the whole thing we follow on the borrowing, $800 million, and how they go use and take cushion the effect and all of that. Now, but before we come to the incoming government, this particular government, how well they don't handle the issue of petroleum. I know say not be today it start, but how well the issue of petroleum, fuel queues, subsidy, how well this government don't manage them, especially when the president still not be the minister of petroleum.
You see, sometimes sometimes I always criticize too. She get me back.
Yes.
But another way, I say, na person will wear the issue sometimes. Sometimes we understand some of these things. Say before this administration, this particular president say subsidy na fraud. Say no, that's subsidy. So, but when you come wear the issue now, we can't see how the thing be. So if we criticize, and they do it before, but now when they analyze now, I know to the most criticized, I always look at things. Yes, say government can do better this way, and they also they recommend, they give them recommendation.
Yes.
So if this government wait to say subsidy na fraud before, and for the 8 years they maintain that subsidy regime. So it means when they enter, they see certain things. So they say in shock them too. So I better more leave this like that. So let us go back to this genesis. What is even this subsidy when they cause big? So make I give you some analysis. So as you do so, you they produce barrel. Make we use barrel as an example. You they produce barrel. Now you get your money. Now you go borrow money from maybe say all this Lapo. And Lapo could disturb you. So maybe you return their money now. Yes. So you go borrow money for Lapo. So you use the money. They produce barrel. After you produce the barrel finish, everything where you use, all the money you spend to produce one barrel, the thing they cost you around, let's say 10 naira. And you go return Lapo money, Abi, and you go want make profits. You go want chop now. Your picking won't go better. So you want to sell that barrel. See at this, as you produce that for 10 naira, I go sell them for 12 naira. So that I go see 2 naira again. You get back. But government can't say, hold on, no. If they sell this barrel for 12 naira, Nigerians not go afford this thing, because they're poor. But one Nigerians will enjoy this barrel. Yeah, but don't worry. If being at 12 naira, you won't sell. Okay. Sell her for 6 naira. You get me, ba?
Yes.
The remaining 6 naira, we go to pay you. You understand, ba? So that Nigerians go free afford that thing, buy for snap. So for Nigerians where they buy, for their mind, they just an assistant they buy them. They just an assistant be that thing cost. They don't know say that in at 12 naira. So somebody they pay the remaining 6 naira on their behalf. Now they say. So for your mind, you go buy that barrel 6 naira. It just say you are okay, you feel afford them. But if you truly you want the real cost of that thing, not 12 naira. But you don't know, say somebody they pay 6 naira on your behalf so that you can afford to buy that snack. that thing no be anything bad. You know they bad to say we did transparency about that. But you be guy man now. So what you call to be say, as government they pay you that extra 6 naira, they make you the seller for Nigeria. You say you can't use Ogbon Sodiq. You can't they carry the buy or go to sell for Ghana. Yes, government they pay you for year. Carry the buy or go to sell for Niger. Nigerians are supposed to benefit and they will benefit them again. Now the way they come from. So if you carry that analysis, can come the first petrol they buy. If people when they do this fuel, when they do this PMS fuel, if they won't really sell up for the price where they're supposed to sell up, the price go they reach like let's say 400 or 500. Because if you check the international market, how much this thing they cost now, and now because we know they refine this thing, we say we they produce this thing for ourselves for year. Now we get the raw materials, so we they refine now everything they here.
Okay.
Even if say we don't go buy for that phone, at least it go reduce. I they go somewhere. So the problem now be say people they go outside now, they buy that and they come. Government go to say don't sell for 500 naira, sell for 190. You go pay the remaining balance. But the problem is say even right now, government don't even get enough money. That's where the problem is coming from. So with the government continue to borrow to the pay subsidy, and that's the issue I raised from the beginning.
Yes.
When you continue to borrow to pay that kind of subsidy in that consumption, we don't they produce anything. You understand now? When would they consume that thing, maybe say would they produce them. So now the money where you they subsidize, would they kind of go another country, go they buy. And now from where you they buy, now then they produce, now then they create jobs. Not be for your own country. You get analysis, so now where you go they buy that thing, and then they produce
so that,
they carry your money go.
Yeah, so that subsidy actually they enrich another country.
So waiting. And then there's another country, you know they have any benefits to any Nigerians, because as we they borrow, you know, say that's I talk and say if you they borrow, you they consume, you don't produce anything, you don't get anything now. So you continue, you know, like say you get picking say no, they work. You always ask, you always ask if they do anything for your life. You want bad, they will come meet you. You want shit, you won't come meet you. If this is a state, if you know say you be thief, or you be drug baron, or you be this you know go sustain that. So something say you know this sustainable till you get back. So now the game say we run into, and no be now they don't start they say we don't pay attention, so we can't run into trouble now. They say we not going even get money now. They pay that subsidy again now. The baby don't do too much now. So if you take all the presidential candidates during the campaign, all of them, whether Atiku, whether Obi, whether Tinubu, all of them thought they go remove subsidy. Now the first time we say yes, you know before one go say no go remove, one go just say go remove. This time around, the eyes don't open, eyes don't clear now. Say this thing instead of us to they use that money now, so they go they buy, they produce on that country. More save that money now, use and do something else. Now, my problem, and which is something that with Nigerian problem over time, is the issue of trust. So when government promise you, if government tells you say good money now, I don't say for Nigeria, so you go check us and our money with you on our after on our evening. Now that kind of trust we say we they get. So if government come to say, now we don't want to be paying subsidy again because you know they benefit us. Now, government they spend almost trillions of naira for subsidy. Now, government saying that trillions, we're not going to put on subsidy again. We go come out. These trillions now, we go use them. They take do road, infrastructure, make the economy better. So if the economy better, even if say you buy for 400 naira, or you can afford it because the economy is good, because we are putting this money back into the economy. That is the argument.
All right.
Okay. So if the incoming administration, because you know talk saying you go remove them, and even this current one, maybe you don't know. 3 days ago, some government civil servants they don't increase the allowance more again.
Yes.
Some of them they happy this last week because government won't remove subsidy by June.
But they don't increase their salary by 40%.
In fact, it's not even in the budget this year. They don't come more subsidy. Everybody. So what we go they look for now because they don't make that decision. Nothing we in Nigeria will do again. So it means say we must start to the advocate and tell Nigeria say by June, this for where you see they say for which subsidy they say for 190, 240, where they complain. you go feed a buyer for 400 now. Now, the thing is say, we want to tell government now that you have put this burden on us, and you say the money where it takes supposed to the subsidize go they buy for half of the price. You talk say you go take and do this. Go they shine our eyes now say okay, yeah, where the road. Since you don't put the burden of this fuel subsidy on me, since I make all the buy, so you know they subsidize anything for me again, no. Now me they pay my gbese now. So the money where you they save, the road where you promise me, where the road, the light where you promise me,
where the light.
Because now you don't get excuse again. You don't get excuse again. Say now subsidy they take money now. You don't carry the gbese. You don't put on top Nigerians. Nigerians, you know, say we do resilience now. Suffering as money, we don't wear around. Sharp, we do okay, but we don't get problem. So the money where they say they save now, where that money they go now, that is what Nigerians should start looking for, and they start asking questions when the next administration settles down.
When the next administration settle down, Nigerians got to they ask questions. How far? When I don't move subsidy, how far the road, how far the lights, how far the bridge, the infrastructure, how far? All right, now what we done they talk about, we get Asiwaju Oladimeji on top of the phone call, and of course now social analyst, political analyst, they help us, they put a perspective, and they help us to mount touchlight on some of these things. And on top of the big talk this morning, we check the government, the outgoing government, and some of the key areas. We don't touch on borrowings, we don't touch on infrastructure, we don't touch on subsidy, and how well this government achieve for some of these areas. This now the big talk on top Citizen FM 93.7 for Abuja. They call me the chief priest. Ezemmuo 1. The numbers there. You go fit to put body on top of these conversations. Oladimeji, they still there on top of the phone line as the matter they be. Oladimeji, you go hang in for us. Asiwaju, you hear me? I say,
hear you, Baba.
I say, make you hang in, make we take 1 or 2 calls. We go still talk about education. Yes, education and some other areas. Hello, who they decide now this morning?
Ezemmuo, good morning.
Morning to you, dear. Who they talk this morning now?
Ezemmuo, me this morning.
Yes, body, Lati, morning to you, my brother.
Actually, good morning.
Yes, Asiwaju, they hear you. Asiwaju, they greet you. They hear you.
I know you. I know you.
All right, go ahead, buddy. I go amplify. Go ahead.
Ezemmuo.
Yes.
Subsidy is something every other country is doing. In our case, just like what Asiwaju said. When Buhari came in, he knew the problem on ground. He knew that this subsidy, some people are benefiting, some people are using as a conduit pipe to siphon the country. What did he do to checkmate as the head of the country? He is the Minister of Petroleum. What did he do when he knew that this is a problem that the country has been having for over a decade, over 3 decades of the country? Refinery is a major challenge. What did he do as a president, being the Minister of Petroleum? What did he do to put infrastructure in place? Well, he continued like other presidents, previous presidents, to continue with the subsidy and leave the refineries the way they are. Why not look for other means of building a new one? Niger build a refinery. Now, the issue that you also said, infrastructure. Ezemmuo, I told you I've been in Abuja for 22 years. They laid a pipeline, water pipeline, from Jikoi here. In 2006, as I'm talking to you today, Jikoi does not have pipe-borne water. The level of borehole that everybody has been digging in the country is a major challenge. Nobody is saying it. Government don't care about infrastructure. They say they are doing infrastructure. Where are we seeing it? Is the infrastructure getting to the hinterland? As I'm talking to you, Dallas, if you come to Nav Valley, just the Army Barrack here, they've dug almost 800 and something thousand cubic meters of water. But that water now will not get to the rural area, but rather they are doing it for themselves and their family. In terms of infrastructure, how is the government caring? Primary health care is a major challenge. I've been an advocate of primary health care. Ezemmuo, come to Dagalape, I've talked about that primary health care. It's nothing to write home about.
All right.
The chairman, the director of primary health care in the LCT, will always come, measure, do other things. They will do nothing about that primary health care. Go to national primary health care. It's far better than the LCT.
All right.
What are they doing about infrastructure? The major challenge is that we don't have government that have the willpower. Then if you say the government, the presidency, he wants to do away with subsidy, will the National Assembly allow him? Will the state governors allow him to do away with subsidy?
No, that's. Are you talking about the outgoing government or the incoming government?
No, the present president is coming now. If you say he wants to do,
that's what they already. There's a loan. They don't already collect loan of 800. They talk about collecting loan of 800 million. This subsidy. The incoming government is already taking a step in that direction already.
You now. This present government, you know, they remove subsidy severally.
All right.
Severally, DG Malan Kiari said it on national TV that they remove subsidy. At the end of the day, what happens? Ezemmuo, our eye don't see a government not to deceive us again. We know more than they know.
All right. Thank you so much for that one. We don't talk, but they don't talk something. Ashwaju, you still there?
I did it, Baba.
All right, make I take one or two more calls. Hello, who they decide now this morning?
Yeah, she says Ezemmuo. Good morning.
Morning to you, Maxman from Apo. Make we hear you quickly this morning.
Okay. Government, this is subsidy. If to say we really know what we they do, she says Ezemmuo. How we go get plantain? Say we get plantain for bush. We will go cut the plantain, come for inside our village. We go carry and go our village, go cook am for another village. When we don't cook and don't finish before we will call carry food, come house where we go shop. Say make we can't share give our children, don't plantain. Waiting we get refinery for. We know the same say with the import for air. Waiting be our main source of income for this country, in a foreign income. Not the crude oil. Now, crude oil, we know they refine our own fuel when we they use for this 21st century, and we say we'll be giant of Africa. Now, some kind of things when our leader they talk, and the thing is just the tear person for head one kind.
Baba, don't lay your head the tear, my brother. Maxman, don't lay your head the tear. All right, so one more call. Who they are so now this morning? Hello, make I see who they decide. Hello.
Hello, Ezemmuo.
Morning to you, my brother. Good morning. Who they talk here?
Olajide from Wuse Zone 6.
Olajide from Wuse Zone 6. Welcome to you this morning. Make we hear from you quickly.
When we talk of development, Ezemmuo, I've always said it. The development we are talking about, are we attributing everything to federal government, or what are we saying? Somebody was talking about no water in Jikoi. Is it the function of federal government to go and provide water in Jikoi? Somebody is talking about primary health. That's why I say primary health. Primary. Is it the function of federal government to provide primary health? I've been saying, if they want federal government to do it, then we should start governors. Let there be no governor, let there be no chairman, so that I know in my village, in the Korodu, I will hold Mr. President responsible. So that somebody in Kalagu will hold Mr. President responsible. I think what we needed to do concerning federal government are gigantic projects that will either bring money to the nation or that will help the nation. Like the one they are doing, that gas pipeline that is going as far from Nigeria to Europe. That is what Western government normally does. That will fetch Nigeria multi-billion dollars when it is completed, which President Muhammadu Buhari has been doing. The rail project, many people condemn it and say, why must he do rail to Niger? I say somehow that if we are criticizing this kind of long-term project, that my children, we have one way or the other to go through that rail. Somebody from Enugu will have something to do with that. Somebody from Bayelsa will have something to do with that. And we condemn such kind of project. What are we now saying? We are talking. Then finally, on the issue of refinery.
Yes.
Let me tell you, what I discovered government is trying to do is that if they build another one, we know who we are. The one we build, what happens to it?
Yes.
That is why they are encouraging private sector like Dangote and others to come up with it also that they will be able to manage it. God bless Nigeria. God bless you. God bless you people.
All right, so thank you so much. Alajide, you spoke well. I like the things the way you talk. You talk better talk this morning. Not be everything be federal government to work. Some things they when they be say You get what they call the exclusive list. That one a federal government work. We get the concurrent list where the federal government go collabo with the state government, and then of course we get the residual list where we say that one be federal government work. Hello, who they decide now?
Ezemmuo.
Who they talk there? Hello. All right. Okay. Make we go back to our guest this morning because we keep our guest for phone call. Make we go back to our guest quickly. Make we see whether we go just round up very quickly this morning. Hello, Asiwaju Oladimeji, quickly. Hello, you there? Hello? You there hear me?
Hello?
Yes, you there this morning. Hello, Asiwaju? All right, make I try call him back there because... Yes, let me try to call him back. Make we talk. Hello, you there? Asiwaju Oladimeji from Ekiti State there. You there?
Hello?
Hello? You dey hear my voice? Hello? I dey hear. Yes, I dey hear you. I dey hear you. Wow. Okay. Make I see. Try one more time. Make I see. One more time now. Hello, who they decide now? Hello? Make I call my guest first before I go come back to the phone lines. Hello, Asiwaju.
Sorry, I didn't get that.
Asiwaju, they hear me now?
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can
I don't hear you from my end.
I can hear you clearly, actually. I don't know why you didn't hear me. You didn't hear me? All right, something did happen here. Something did happen here. Anyway, why would they try to fix that one? Make we still take some calls. We don't talk some things already. We don't talk many things. Asiwaju don't put mouth on top of many areas, many things we don't talk about. I don't know what you feel. 8:46 now. Waiting time to talk now. The big talk be this one on top of Citizen FM. This now Super Citizen at Sunrise. They call me the chief priest. Will they check the outgoing government? Will they check some of the key infrastructure, some of the key things where this government will fit attribute or ascribe to this government? Hello, you there now? Hello? Hello?
I can hear you now.
Yes, you can hear me now, but
Yes.
oh yeah, now make we go ahead very quickly now. We don't they take some calls. Some of our people don't they react. They talk about Olajide from Wuse. They tell us say some of the things where people they blame government from primary health care, all of those things. You know, even the exclusive list. You know, even the concurrent. Some of them, the business of federal government. All right, so federal government don't try for areas where they're supposed to try, like rail. Say federal government build rail to Niger, and that kind of project. Now, project where you benefit Nigerians. What do you think about that one, Olajide? Make we pass that one. Take inter-education.
Okay, so quickly, if you look at, it's part of the infrastructure we're talking about.
Yes.
And honestly speaking, you must give it to this government. See, I always tell people, when government do something good, won't talk am. When government do bad, won't talk am too. Most of them are only the bad thing. I'm sure none of us have seen the kind of effort that this government do on rail projects. And because, see, that's what we did small. We hear people say they will go to Kano from Lagos, go by train, carry goods. All these lorries. Do you think, let me say this, one of the major problems we have with our road is that we have unnecessary traffic on this our road. If you reach that Giri Junction, just stay for that Giri Junction, they count number of trucks where they pass, where they come from the south, where they go north. There is no way your road will last. Do you know how many times don't they do that Abuja Lokoja road? Lokoja road, as they do in the small, as they do in the spoil. Because ordinarily, some of the things we say they take carry those heavy duty trucks. Normally, to say we get train, that's true train. Not all this wala, what would they do? So I think that project that they have started, see, that's one of the. But when you have somebody with a vision, say, okay, we must diversify our transport system and move back to train station. And they do a small. And part of the loans we will talk about, don't forget, is that thing. That's exactly what I'm talking about.
Yes.
If we borrow to do that kind of a thing, Baba, you no get problem. It makes sense.
In fact, we even need more borrowing for such projects so that you can have all this fast train. When you say chap, you don't 1 hour, you don't reach where you reach, you don't pack your load. Because it will stimulate the economy. It will aid the movement of goods and all this agriculture. Imagine somebody they produce for just all those fruits where they waste for just all those fruits where they waste for Benue. Imagine say we get better trade, say sharp from Benue, you don't reach Lagos, move your fruit. So all that kind of project is so if we borrow, like I said, to that kind of productive sector, we don't get any problem because that sector will bring back that money back for us. Now, normal thing. But we also need to understand that those kind of projects too, at the long run, because say government no get business for some business. Make I use that word.
Yes.
You get something to say, you just give up. You only provide policy and you regulate. You don't. That's why this refinery, I tell people, those Kaduna, government should sell them. They should sell them. We don't they put money for that thing. We don't get any result. Anything the government they do, they do. Give them. Look at that good thing now. So what we need to do is to ensure that, like what the caller talk.
Yes.
We need more private investment in our economy.
Yes.
Now, private sector they create job. No be government they create job. See, it's not because over time we don't get this mentality say government job, because say we are not doing the right thing. Now, private sector, small scale business. Now they make economy grow.
They create more jobs. Now they make economy grow.
Now they create more jobs. That is the truth. People go leave this civil service job 8 to 5. What will they do? They go leave out. When you have good electricity, for instance, you have good transportation system, for instance, and you can do your business and you can thrive. Now, what did they make? So government only needs to support those kind of sector. You get me, ba?
Yes.
Make available credit facilities.
All right.
So that in such a way that if we take credit facilities from government, you can pay back.
All right, Asiwaju, because of time, we get like 3-4 minutes to sign out. In the next 1 minute, I want to make you. In the next 1 minute, I want to make you just quickly rush through education. How you go fit analyze the impact of what this government do for the area of education quickly, because you talk about ASU strike here and there. So go ahead.
Yes. I'm going there. So Nigerians need to also understand that for education, there's something we call exclusive list,
yes,
concurrent list, and
residual list.
So residual one, yes, sir. Education is under concurrent list. That is now both the federal and the state government they run now. Do you understand?
Yes.
Now the one when we say he reach federal government, we go talk about. It's just a time. Maybe we'll come back next time. We'll talk.
Yes, next time.
We say the state government supposed to, for instance, primary school. Not be the job of the federal government for primary school. In fact, most of the secondary school, apart from all these federal schools, federal colleges, most of the secondary schools are owned by the state. So, but where I know I get problem with federal government, that this issue of ASU strike. You get me, ba?
Yes.
And it's because sometimes when I also know that the two sides also have their own share of the blame. But no matter how what, the federal government still gets most of it, because when you go into an agreement, say you go do something and you know do it, before that thing get out of hand, you supposed quickly call as okay, this see, nothing wrong with dialogue and when you are being open and when you are being transparent. What I think has actually led to most of the problem that we have is lack of communication and being transparent. That has always been a problem. Communication. So as we write to remind the federal government go be like they no see them, then after they don't go very to close school. But if there's constant communication and dialogue, constant negotiation, and I think next administration will ensure that we don't have this kind of crisis in our hands again.
All right.
We don't have time. We'll have to talk about so many things.
All right, because we don't get time. I know say definitely we could bring you back because many things there to talk about, and we could also need to look at the incoming government. But then in coming days, we will sit down, look at the incoming government and the task within their front. All right, thank you so much, Asiwaju Olajimeji, for your time this morning.
Yeah.
All right. Asiwaju Oladimeji, now social commentator, political analyst, and of course, we don't talk about some of the things them we consign, some of the things them we, if you call them achievement, if you call them gains, if you call them the areas where this government still could have done better. Now, what we don't look since. Shout out to all man we don't call us this morning. Shout out to Godwin Uwabo, Chief Zaka from Ado. Shout out to Maxman from Apo. Shout out to ID from Kubwa, Jeremiah from Autaba Lefi. So in calling full name, made no collect his name from my hand. Isa Shiku from Masaka, Chief Eze from Morozo, Patrick from New Cairo, Kennedy from Cairo, GB from Life Camp, Bode from Inyanya, Olajide from Wuze Zone 6. Thank you, all of you who don't join us. Make we do them again tomorrow, 6 o'clock on top of the radio. Super Citizen at Sunrise. They call me the Chief Priest, Ezemmuo 1, Oracle of the Citizens. Anything way they do, come on, body. From anything we no go carry the country, go front. Remember saying we don't get another country. Even if you get dual citizenship, that one means you still be citizen of Nigeria and another country. So me say you don't be citizen of Nigeria. It means you be citizen of Nigeria and another country. See what they happen for Sudan. Make we always bear them for mind. Say Nigeria first. Anything we go put Nigeria for gas bulls, we go put Nigeria for problem. Make we come on body for inside. They call me the Chief Priest. Make we meet again tomorrow. Come on body for problem. Una good morning.